I've seen a trend of recent where a lot of businesses are banning the use of AI because of different concerns they have, such as privacy, security, and leakage. And this is concerning because I'm not sure a lot of them know that it's possible to use AI fully in your business without your data leaving your business or without the AI even being connected to the internet. That's what I'm going to talk about on today's episode of the Tech Your Business podcast. Today, I'm going to discuss how to keep your data safe when using AI privately. I'm going to talk about when it's smart to switch from the public models we know to a private model and how to do this switch without disrupting too much. This is the concluding episode of this three-part solo series. In the first episode, I talked about how much you trust your data when you send it into a public AI model. I talked about things like data exposure, possibility of vulnerabilities, leakage, and things like that. Last week, too, I talked about AI and GDPR, which covers almost every other privacy law because most of them are based on the GDPR. And today, I'll be talking about a solution to the last two episodes. So the links to those episodes are in the show notes if you want to listen to them too. So most times when we talk about using AI in your business, we think of going to a public provider, signing up for an account, and then sending your data to them. They give you a response and back and forth like that. But the truth is that it's actually possible to have your own AI within your business self-hosted in a probably in a server in your office right in front of you or in a computer right in your office there, not even connected to the internet. And having a setup like this actually sorts out a lot of the problems we talk about concerning using AI in business. So today I'll talk about some reasons why your business should consider having their AI model private, hosted privately, and how easy it is to switch. The first reason your business should consider hosting your AI models privately is that you have full 100% control of your data. So when you host your AI model on a computer or a server you own, you no longer need to worry about what privacy policies. You no longer need to worry about how your data is processed, where your data goes to, if it's being sent to a server in another country, if your competitors or strangers are looking over your data, or they are probably getting prompts from your data, or your data is being used to train those models. So all those issues just go with that. And this is because everything you send into that model, the text, the images, the data, everything stays within it, is processed within it, and doesn't leave your premises or at least your computer. Like I mentioned in episode one, AI is simply a program which goes over terabytes of data it has and predicts the right answer to a query you give to it from the data it has. So it works based on probability a whole lot. And having your AI privately hosted in your premises or on your own cloud would mean that this data that the AI is trained on, everything is going to be on your premises. The program that processes this data is going to be on your premises. And that means nothing is leaving. So you have maximum privacy for your data and the data you process with that. So the advantage of this is that you can set who sees what in your model or your data. You can control how the model is used as much as you want. You can encrypt everything, every single thing. And you can also audit when necessary. I mentioned earlier that you should have logs, you should have your processes, your documents in previous episodes. So this makes it very easy for you to have logs that are easy to audit and that it lets you easily audit the entire system and know how maybe your members of staff have been using it to know if there's any errors or anything on it. But the thing, and I think apart from that too, it's also possible to take it totally offline, which takes off a whole lot of security risks with using things like this. But the thing is that it costs more. I know most models cost maybe $20 a month or $200 a month for the other ones. And for this, hosting your AI models privately, I know it costs a lot more to make this happen. And that's why the next point I'll talk about is the business case for you doing this. I love talking about the business case because that's what makes everything worthwhile at the end of the day. So while most public AI models are cheap, a lot of them are even free to use. But considering the risks I've mentioned today and in the previous 2 weeks, data leakage, data vulnerability, risk of falling foul of data privacy laws and things like that, when you look at your business and those risks, what's the opportunity cost of using those public AI models? I think that's the basis of the business case I'm going to talk about. Apart from that, so when you consider buying licenses for those models for maybe 100 or maybe 1,000 employees for your business every single month, at the end, you might see that it's not as cheap as you thought it was going to be or as it looked at the start. Then I think another business case for hosting your AI privately is improved performance. So when you host your AI privately, you're able to modify it, you're able to configure it to fit your exact business case. So when you look at these public AI models, the settings are set such that they can appeal to or solve the problems of everybody. And your business is not everybody. Your business is a niche business. It's focused on serving a particular kind of client and doing a particular kind of thing and speaking a particular way. It has its own terminology. It has its own lingo and terms and things like that. So when you have your AI model hosted privately, you're able to train it on your business data, your business customers, your knowledge base. Everything is going to be unique and customized to you, meaning that the results that you're going to get from this AI model are going to be different and perfect, much better than the ones you get from the public AI models tuned for everybody. So I think another thing too, like I mentioned with data privacy laws, is data privacy laws basically determine or work around where you host your data, how you host your data, how you collect your data, what you do with the data, and accessibility of this data, ability of the users, the owners of this data, who are the users, to move their data, to modify their data, to request to know what you have on them, as well as request to have it deleted if necessary. So having this system with you right there in your full control makes that less likely that you're going to fall foul of these GDPR laws, which is another thing you should be avoiding because since 2018 they've been popping up almost everywhere and I think you can't hide from them anymore. Before it used to be the EU, now it's almost everywhere. So I think the next point I'll talk about is switching. So when we talk about private AI, it might sound like something huge, like a huge undertaking, but for most use cases, funny enough, it isn't. So that's a basic top level view of what you need to do. And you don't really need much to do this. So if you're hosting it on your premises, you would need a server, you would need, yeah, of course, your AI model and your configuration. I think that's basically what you need. Then this is the same thing if you're hosting it on the cloud, but there you switch the server for the cloud server, which is practically the same thing. And the time it usually takes, it doesn't really take long. I think a maximum of 90 days, or depending on your use case, actually, to implement it, to test it, to make sure it's working flawlessly with your organization and your existing systems. And it gives you maximal results. So I think that's basically the bird's eye view of setting up your private AI system. So I think what I'll say is look at your current business processes, look at your things like support, customer support, look at your things like data analytics, look at the things that you're currently using public AI systems for, and maybe think of how they would benefit by being switched to an AI hosted in your business. My third point will be hosting your AI model, how just a bird's eye view, top level view of what you need to make that happen. So basically, to host your own AI model privately, first of all, you need to audit what you use AI for in your business and what in the short to medium term, you're going to use AI in your business for. So are you using it for customer support? Are you using it for text generation? Are you using it for data analysis? Are you using it for videos, for images? What are you using it for? This will determine the model, the AI model is to determine a lot of things. Also, you audit how many people are using the AI, how often do they use it? These are questions you're going to answer before you go to the next step, which is deciding if you would want to host your model on a physical server in your office, or that's a computer, physical computer in your office, or you want to host it on a cloud you control. So there are so many cloud providers. You can pick any of them. You can host AI models on this cloud provider. So once that's decided on where you want to host this AI model, the next thing you're going to do is to set up the AI model, then, like I mentioned earlier, train it and configure it to be unique to your business. So that will mean putting your specific business data, your specific prompts, your specific information, and things like that. Then after that, what you're going to do is to test the model. So you're going to test the model. You're going to hit it from every angle. You do everything you've been doing with the public models with it, see where it's lacking, and then adjust depending on how it reacts to what you're doing. So today we've talked about the differences between the public AI models, which we all know about, and private AI models. We've talked about the business case, the benefits for switching from a public AI model to a private AI model, depending on your needs, depending on your budget, and depending on how much you use AI, as long as what as well as what you're concerned about. Then I gave a bird's eye view of what's needed to switch from a public AI system to a private AI system. So I think this is just a an overview. I'm not really going too deep into the topic. So if this is something you would want to talk about more, or you're interested in, or you want to explore for your business, you can reach out in the show notes, or wherever wherever you're seeing this, you can reach out and we talk more about it. So till next week, next episode of the Tech Your Business podcast, keep checking your business, and bye for now.